Good evening, everyone. Maz is okay here. This is a live broadcast, and this is evening today, being the Saturday, the 23rd of October 2021. As usual, here, you are live here with me. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Hold on, what's happening here? Okay, I think my I'm beginning I'm
Bluetooth
beginning
connected.
again. Hold on. You can hear me loud and clear. Yes, I know you can hear me. This evening, we are going to have a street parliament. Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Hold on, let me see if I can hear myself because today, it's something very interesting happening. Today, can you hear me? Something very interesting happening. What's gone wrong again? Today, can you hear me? Okay, people. Very interesting happening. What's gone wrong again? It appears I can't hear myself. Hold on. Can you hear me?
Bluetooth disconnected.
Oh, okay. I can hear myself now. Very interesting. Okay, I can hear myself now. Sorry, everyone. So this evening we are going to look about. We're going to look at multiple issues. I don't know many of you if you've heard it. The Nigerian government, the Economist, actually published something where they called Nigerian government some names that Lai Mohammed might be arguing with them, obviously, as usual. So this evening, I want to look at the attack on Sowore day before yesterday, and the Economist actually called Nigeria a crime scene in the heart of Africa. You know, as if economists actually, um, you know, as if they watch this program here, and I've been calling this place a crime scene. And today they are the ones now saying this thing. So now I have no a reason why Mr. Lai Mohammed or Oga Laye, Oga, not Oga Laye, stop, Oga Lai Mohammed, even if it's, I don't know if it's lying or anything, that's not my business. But you see, Nigeria is confused, and everyone in Nigeria is also confused. So before we continue, people, as usual, let me know where you're joining me from. It's a late night one that I know many of you obviously will be joining me from the diaspora community. So let me know. Take a couple of minutes to know where you are joining me from and to say hello to one another. How has your week been, everyone? Once more, I am still Mazi is okay. So what is going to happen now is, because everyone is confused, this is the way I feel
Our
sometimes.
economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's
So because our economic is lungu 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 lungu, suddenly we now come to a point where everybody is confused. Imagine myself now, I joined the army, they say, attention, I don't even know where my left from my right is. You think I'm kidding? This is someone who ought to be one of the high top guys in the Nigerian customs, yet he doesn't know how to do basic salute that a boy of 5 years in the Boy Scout or the Girls Guild or the Boys Brigade is able to do. But here, see, so you see that one. I don't know what to call that one. Really, I don't know what to call that one. I have Collins Sebule. Collins Sebule is watching from the Colombia. I have Nice watching from Catalonia. Wow, that is Spain, Catalonia. So, when you look at these things and you begin to wonder, who did we offend? Which of the gods did we offend? Some people are saying that we are going to contribute, whatever we are going to contribute. So let's go and see how we can, offer the gods some sacrifice, if they would accept our sacrifices and let them actually forgive us. If you ask Wike will even probably be more
If you
confused.
don't know what to do with your head, you don't know what to do with your head. If you didn't dare, you didn't dare.
I can tell you very simple that inside the head of those that manage the affairs in this country, he didn't dare. And because he didn't dare, he didn't dare. And some of them are happiness more. But I don't know if there is any need for us to happiness more. But I look at, if I come back to my state of Anambra, I see that a lot of people are running away from all the parties and everyone is moving into APC. And I've been asking why? But now I think I found the answer why they are going into the APC.
Tony Ilwobe means I don't do bad. And in fact, once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. Once you have joined APC, all your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven. All your sins are forgiven.
So all your sins are forgiven. Okay, that makes sense now. So somebody should also forgive my own sins, but I do not have any. Again, you all saw it a couple of days back. Terrorists, that is the right word to use, invaded the Nigerian railway, the Nigerian rail track. And what did they do? They blasted it and they blew it up. They blew it up. And not only that they blew it up, the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC, issued a statement that I have seen the most disgusting statement I've ever read in my entire life. And what was the content? They said that those were vandals. Ooh, so vandals now attack railways. You see, Nigeria is still living in denial. Vandals are now attacking railway lines. But what are we going to do if someone within the army is telling you that you can blow up everything you blow up, but you can repent even when you blown up or with whatever you have used, and you can kill so many people as you wish. Once you repent, you can become the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria. You think I'm kidding you? You hear that from the horse's mouth.
An ex-Boko Haram stands having laid his arms and comes back, turns his way away from his negativity. He stands to be a president of this country. He stands to aspire to any position in this country.
Well, the positions that Mazi, who has never killed a fly, apart from those ones, those mosquitoes. I don't know if they are male or female. Some of you who went to school here can tell me. There are those mosquitoes, if you're sleeping, they won't go and bite you. If they are biting you just to suck blood, it will be better. But they will just come to your ear. You'll be, those ones are the mosquitoes that make you slap yourself and say thank you to yourself. You hear, bam, you slap yourself. And once you slap yourself, sleep will come out for your eye for like 5 minutes. Those are the type of mosquitoes that I have killed. But I can't even aspire to be the president of this country. Now, but there is someone telling us that if you anyway, you had him, not me. I don't want to repeat that. But there is something that also happened. I told you today is loaded. Lai Mohammed has been accused of 100 million. Ogalai Mohammed, tell your DSS I said nothing, but I said you have been accused of 100 million. So let's hear Idris Abdulkader, the guy that sang Nigeria Jaga Jaga, everything scatter scatter, poor man they suffer, goes out, gunshot in the air. I'm rubber come your house. Oh man, Maz, I think you should have been a musician actually. So let's hear from Idris a little bit here.
This message now for Galai Muhammad. We see him for internet where your governor talk say you steal 100 million naira. I beg do press conference make we know wetin really happen. It is very important. We want to know whether you steal am true. I been a borrow you borrow am. You don't dey hot. Festus Kiamo, how now? I hear say you don't go court. After Amagigi don't jaga, you show you real gangster. I beg, we dey wait. We dey pile up information. We dey wait.
See, everybody they wait. Everybody they wait. Putakene no bo. Ife dị mma maka better soup na money maker. Adamma kpeke ya ada. Everybody dey wait. This is Nigeria. Nigeria no go kill us. So make I look at those people watching me. Okay, D Nice. Thanks for the correction. He says it's D Nice watching from Catalonia, and I have Ike Ezabasile watching from Amsterdam. Ifan Yopara watching from Ado Ekiti. AC or OC Amandia Neze saying greetings. Nigeria is full of evil politicians. Why they are running into OPC, into APC in their woman's OJ Ehonanya. So that's a very wonderful evening, everyone. And if you're joining me now, irrespective of which platform you're joining me, because we are streaming now on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter as well. If you're joining me, let me know where you are watching me from. Now, let me go back. Let's start from the beginning. The summary has been done. So, and in starting here, people, 2 days ago, many of you on this platform were watching it live. Suddenly, we saw people coming close to Omoyele Sowore. And people thought, okay, there were people gathering, just as normal as usual. But what happened? People suddenly started moving close to Omoyele Sowore. And not only that they were moving close to him, suddenly we saw him being attacked. And not only that he was attacked, suddenly also we saw people whom the DSS who were there could do anything to stop the attack. And that is one thing that personally is too bad. Let me quickly play that video before we get into the meat of why we are here this evening. And you watch it and you think to yourself, I want to do a frame by frame analysis of that attack. Let me quickly grab that video. Hold on. Where is the video now? Come on. Let me quickly do a frame by frame analysis of that so that some of us would understand why and what we are talking about. What's just happened? Sorry, again, I'll try this again. Reason, okay. Oh, okay, I've seen it now. So everyone, quickly here, it just okay. I would show you and I will analyze this frame by frame. Again, if you're joining me for the first time, like I said before, please, if you haven't subscribed to this platform, by all means, kindly do. Because when you do, when I come online, you will have the notification to join us. Now, this is first credit to pay attention. This is when Sowore sorry. This is when Sowore came to the court. Sowore was there. So, sorry. The source of this is BBC Pigeon, because we're watching it on BBC Igbo actually. But for the we have a clip from BBC Igbo and BBC Pigeon. So for the benefit of those who do not understand Igbo, let's use the clip from BBC Pigeon here. Now, frame by frame, this is Sowore here in black and white. Okay. Okay. At this point, Sowore. Now look behind Sowore. You will see DSS. Some of them masked. And Sowore at this point have started talking to the people, right? Greeting people after he spoke to journalists. You see this guy on this on this white cap with white cap on with green inscription showing Nigeria. Okay, is green, white, green. So some of you might disagree. However you dice it, it remains green, white, green, or white, green, white. However you call it, is immaterial. Now pay attention. So he came close. Now Sowore is saying, no. A man who stood there. Now pay attention. At the back are the police officers. Police officers who came there in order to, provide security. They were all standing there. Now, next thing. You see, the same guy on white cap, and this one that you can use his head as mirror, standing there as well. Look. Now, suddenly, something, and you can see that at this point, Sowore has moved back to where the police are. Now, the police were looking, and the police saw Sowore. The DSS saw Sowore when he walked in. They saw when Sowore spoke to the people. But you would then think, if they are there and they saw that someone was about to attack someone they know who ran for president for 2019, what should they have done? Shouldn't they have at least given him protection? But no, watch. You see, the same guy in white cap. See, they started there. Some of them at this point, Sowore has gone in there. You see when they pushed him out.
They see as we happen for this live video, so they don't bring some folks to come harass for this live video. And the harassment they are
you see where Sowore is now? We are behind that no parking. Sowore has gone behind the no parking. Now, pay attention. Now, you can see their faces. You can see their faces. Obviously, the language they were speaking is obviously now Yoruba, and that's not Igbo. The language is obvious. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. He said, waiting una the talk. Waiting una the talk. Eh? Akwaini na Yoruba man, they telling me waiting una the talk. Okay, so let's now the one in yellow or green or whatever, black, white, this one here in the frame started pushing others, because you can see the guy on the left wore the t-shirt with Sowore's face on it. And now, pay attention inside. You will see where they are pushing Sowore out when he has gone, and instead of them to give him protection and succor, they were pushing him out. See? Now, at that point, they are dragging. And at this point, I thought to myself, what a nation. What a nation. That's why the Abuja Kaduna Rail, we read it that they told them there was an intel that was going to happen, yet the government did nothing. If these cameras were not there, maybe they would have even told you that no one actually attacked Sowore. Look at that. Dan wushu dan wushu ubrova anka shege. This one na foreign Igbo. It speak. Avina adulterated Yorubani Kagani. So this na people where it done the pity make it they knock me for Sowore for vaccine. It don't knock me one blow, two apples. say, Onyanimo says, looks like a citizen arrest for me. What was Sowore's crime? If you started the video from, because I was here, I was in the studio because we were streaming live that day. I was watching it frame by frame, and he could not believe what was happening. I mean, when Sowore came in, he was having this abreba, like winter, like um, Germans say Mütze, not cap, hat, whatever it is. And suddenly, people started attacking him. He was just basically being nice and talking to everybody. That was all. You see the same one on green and white. See that same one with green and white cap. You see, at this point, you can see the hat, that red and white hat. You can see that on his hand there. The thing has gone off his head because at this point, someone was going to the security and the security.
Just some group of boys just attack Sowore now, as I see for this live video.
Police are here watching them, not doing anything. This is DSS. You see Nigeria, in the presence of many police like this, they are forcing commission to live there.
Onyanimo, I disagree. Onyanimo, you are saying that Sowore was disturbing peace. Anyway, that's a question mark. And I see the question mark there. Sowore was disturbing no peace. What was actually happening? What was happening is very simple. Sowore was attacked because how come these people came with 3 vehicles and they, the only people that were allowed entrance in this place were only reporters. The question that many people should be asking now, I will come back to that video. The question that many people should be asking actually is, how did they beat security to get in there? Because to get to that point they were, you need to get searched, you need to explain what you came there to do. And the reporters, you can see them, Punch, AIT, everyone that was there, BBC, they were security cleared. Why and how did they get to that point? That is something that must, well, again, if I say must, but I cannot forget that this is Nigeria, actually.
If you don't pay this money for you, actually where you carry
We are heavy security there. 90s katakata they happen for here. People they complain, say how this is happening for their security there. They no arrest anybody. They no arrest anybody.
We are not talking to him, we are asking my car. No, but I'm telling you, why you are doing it. I'm telling you what happened. It's okay.
Now it's absurd. A civil DSS were there. These things were happening. A civil policeman now comes and suddenly want to turn the whole thing as if Sowore was the one that actually caused trouble. In this case, the trouble, we saw the troublemaker. The good thing and the only heartwarming thing here is it took the intervention of the journalist who obviously we're outraged that something like that was happening and no consequences followed before the police. Now, underline the police and not the DSS, because the DSS are the hooded guys there, and they sat there and they stood there and these things happened.
Officer, it's okay. It's okay. Officer, it's okay. Officer, no. You know what they are doing now? It's okay. They're pushing me back to them. It's okay. They know what they are doing. They are the ones behind them now. They're taking us to point back. So now look at it, we are having a clash. Come here. They are the ones who brought them now. They are the ones who brought them. Can you imagine this? Not even one action. They are the ones who arranged them now. You think we'll be intimidated?
You say we want Nigeria.
Kadakadashi continue. He don't come to attack. They don't catch some of them. They see for this live
At
video.
this point, because the journalists, again, I struggle here to remain neutral, but I struggle here. The reason why I want to say about the following is majority of the journalists there who were outraged, obviously, you can use your tongue to count your teeth where majority of them are from. It appears majority of the journalists are from southern Nigeria, and probably that's the reason why they were outraged that the DSS basically stood there, did jack all, nothing, absolutely nothing. DSS did absolutely nothing. But in their outrage, in their moment of outrage, those guys began to go now on foot. These are people that came with car. Their car is still on the other side. It now took when civil defense now saw what was happening. They were across the other side. So they now crossed over. It took when the journalists were shouting for the civil defense to actually intervene. Okay, let me quickly show us when they caught these guys. So when
They don't catch some of them. They see for this live video. Arrest them!
And some others have run away.
Security personnel don't arrest some of the guys who come for this place.
Take their pictures. We know that this is take their pictures.
I love that's where I love my people. Suddenly the people have realized the government has failed you. They can no longer offer you succor. These things will be denied. I can beat my chest and tell you that if you go to the police station in Abuja today, being Saturday, that these people that were arrested are no more there. Let me put the audio off. So, obviously it's, I can bet you that these people you're watching behind me now are no more there. And they only took the journalists to start shouting, take their pictures, take their pictures, take their pictures. When they're saying take their pictures, one thing was only running in their mind because they already know the government that we have. A government that will tell you that we know the sponsors of Iboho and the sponsors of Nnamdi Kanu, but they do not know the sponsors of the bandits they told us they know, and they're going to publish their names. A government that told us, oh yeah, the body language is working and people are returning money. They are returning billions. Everybody, PDP thief. Okay. 6 years later, tell us who returned which money. Oh, if I tell you who returned which money, to turn into a legal battle. When the person was stealing the money, there was no legal battle. Now I say, oh, I have stolen. I am giving you back. Then if I say you gave us back money, then it becomes a legal battle. Listen, when I think say that they use our brain fry akara, I've been waiting. When I think say we're just basically all cucumbers and carrots and idiots or what? Come on. If not for this journalist, at some point I was actually fearful for Sowore's life. Because imagine in that commotion, somebody has gotten like a dagger and pierced him in his stomach. Imagine that. Imagine. You wonder, how did they get to this point? Let me, increase this. You see, journalists now are the ones running. You see that woman on black and white. Everybody, all the journalists. That is what unity of purpose of a people can do. When the people begin to gradually stand up for themselves and say, no, enough of the madness. We can no longer take it.
Don't be carried away.
Watch your side.
Watch your side.
The motor where they carry come to this, the motor self never that plate number.
You see, the car has no plate number. Yet the car came into a very secured environment. You ask yourself, you come myself, we go drive motor, we get number. You know the kind of trouble where you go. But these people, this Audi, or whatever, Audi combination of Peugeot and Audi. You know there is a way motor go old. Engine fit be Golf, bonnet fit be Peugeot, back bumper fit be Volvo SC40. The tires fit be Mercedes V-boot flat. So now, so the motor they look. People, just look at these things. You just keep wondering, where would they go?
Why should come concert kata for this place? Now the motor where they carry come.
Anyway, people, Onyenimo, I can hear you. You said it looks staged. Well, you see, exactly how when crimes happen, they look staged. If you've ever been stopped by armed robbers, when they stop you, will think, either they are police or are they not serious, until you begin to hear ta 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 ta. Then that thinking of is being staged. It's just that the number of civilians, luckily, whom the court rejected getting into the courtroom, basically every one of them stood outside. Probably them looking around overwhelmed them that probably they didn't do what they came to do. Again, I think any person of conscience must condemn such manner of barbarism, because in my world, an injustice to one is an injustice to all. But again, trust Sowore, showman. He's a friend, but I said trust him. Afterwards, he organized a press conference when he waited, after Nnamdi Kanu's case. He organized a press conference. He climbed into a car and was addressing the people. And honestly, I liked the speech that he gave here. Watch. I liked this speech that he gave.
In his own so-called country, it's a bad marriage. Yes! I have said it
it would have been my preference for Nigeria to be together. But that preference cannot subjugate the preference of others who are tired of a bad country. Yes! And the only option to keep Nigeria united is justice. Yes. That is it. And it is very obvious and clear that the Buhari regime does not believe in justice. There's no justice.
No.
Otherwise,
you cannot mention Buhari and
not have gone to Kenya to go and abduct Kanu and bring him to Nigeria. When he was granted bail, he went back home. He went to his house and tried to kill him. You kill people in his house. He ran away for you. And now he's traveled all the way to Kenya and brought him back. And we say, when you brought him back, let us see and hear what he did wrong in an open court. Yes. You said no. You cannot allow that to happen. Meanwhile, people who are bandits in this country are being rehabilitated. Terrorists are being recruited into the army. In fact, today, I was roughened up and beaten up in front of the DSS. Back to them. So we must not accept this at all. Whether it is happening in Nigeria, and even if it is happening even in the future Biafra, if you have it, don't accept anybody to rub mud on your dignity. It is the reason why I refuse to be intimidated. I was told today by them that I don't have a case in court. I told them for as long as my brethren have a case in court, as long as Igbo men are persecuted, I'm persecuted. As long as Yoruba people are persecuted, I am persecuted. As long as Kanu is persecuted, I am persecuted. So you cannot tell me that I don't have a case in court. You all have a case in court. But let me tell you finally, do you know the people who really have a case to answer? No. It is Buhari and his people. And when their trial shall start,
to be in the open. I agree with Sowore here. When the trial shall start, it must be in the open. In the open. You know, when sometimes, you know, some lawyers will tell you some of these conversations are prejudiced. You know, you don't discuss them, analyze them in the public because they are still matters before the court. And I laugh. But I found this clip also interesting. Just have a.
Sorry, let me explain something too.
Now, I like the way this guy, he felt that Ejiofor was being a gentleman because as a lead counsel, again, he has to be very, very careful the things he says. But I like the way this guy took over and the guy just straight to the point. Listen.
Let me explain something too. You know, my friend has been trying to shy away from telling us the charge.
With that from
yes. My name is Sinemeke Ejiofor.
So
my name is Sinemeke Ejiofor. It is so laughable. One of the charges is that Nnamdi Kanu called Buhari an idiot, a pedophile, and an evil terrorist. It is because of this kind of thing that the whole of Abuja was blocked today, denying motorists from moving around, denying lawyers from going.
I think after listening to this, I said, Odumeje must hear this. Odumeje must, because this man spoke in present past participle. This man.
You will be a past participle. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go me. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day say tickle. One nana so you ba na ebuli.
Are you also part of the tickle? Because is it a called Buhari? Evil man. Oh dear, no be my mouth and I go, no be my mouth and I go. The minute of people, man. So they call him pedophile and they called him terrorist. Jonathan must also go to court. Because make I laugh small. This one, Odume. In fact, Odumeje, I owe you one bottle of, I owe you one green bottle. Forget, don't worry. We know when the Holy Spirit comes upon, when the charging begin, when the charging is charged. Don't worry, na green bottle they do. Forget, we know rain where we rain, and we know the one where they sprinkle. So, in listening to this, I'm like, if we go to Benue now and ask the governor, the governor will tell you, "Wallahi, if I remember some of those things that happened there, go stand up." Think I'm lying.
Even when I'm on top of my wife and I remember the people who are in that DP camp.
You go flat.
So what is going flat here? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. So let's come back to reality here, people. Nigeria, they say, is a crime scene. There is this article written by the I would play us the audio. Actually, let me do this. Before we listen to this podcast, which is about 20 minutes, I would do this analysis first. Then we'll listen to the podcast. Then here, if you go to Njenje Media, njenjemedia.com, you will see the following article. You will see this following article here. It's an article written by the Economist. Basically, the headline is that the Economist blasts Buhari army, says soldiers are ghosts, exist only on payroll. Okay? So, now, and this is what these guys are saying. Quickly. Pay attention here. Very, very, because this is very, very, very important. And I'm glad that this is being done by, these OPID a publication is being done by economists. And it says, Buhari fails to curb corruption. A London newspaper, The Economist, has blasted President Muhammad Buhari and the Nigerian army over the poor state of country. Obviously, we reported it as well. That's an editorial by them. In this editorial titled Nigeria, the crime scene at the heart of Africa, I said, the London Economist must be watching and reading Mazi here, because so many times I've titled my programs Nigeria is a crime scene based on the things happening here. The paper located at, well, basically, it doesn't matter where the paper is located. Now, let's look at this. It says, this paper equally discusses reasons Nigerian youth migrate to other countries. Why then do most young Nigerians want to emigrate? Of course, there is only one reason. Is that they are scared. Jihadists are carving out caliphates. They say a caliphate, but I say caliphates in the northeast. Gang of kidnappers are terrorizing the northwest. The fire of Biafra secessionism has been rekindled in the oil-rich southeast. The violence threatens not just Nigeria, 200 million people, but also the stability of the entire region that surrounds them. Exactly, that's what it is. Now, without getting into much detail on this, I will get to, let me see if what I've prepared, if it's going to work quickly. I will go to Economist website and I'll play this for us to listen to, because this is, for many of us, we are not basically surprised, so to say. So this is the original article here, and let me play this. Have a listen.
Host Jason Palmer. Every weekday, we provide a fresh perspective on the events shaping your world. Samsung Electronics is the crown jewel of South Korea's chaebol, the country's often family-run conglomerates. We examine its rocky succession and the new boss's ambitious plans to take on the
Okay,
world's largest
so
producers of processor chips.
I would.
And as the latest adaptation of the
Hold on.
sci-fi classic Dune hits cinemas in Britain, we look back at previous attempts.
They are still playing
with the big screen, but Dune's version may at last be doing the book justice. First up, though.
So let's listen to what they're going to talk about.
Nigeria is coming apart at the seams. Earlier this week, a criminal gang killed 43 people at a village market in the northwestern state of Sokoto, just the latest in a growing number of unpredictable attacks. The Northwest is also a hotspot for kidnappings. Last month, Nigerian Police Commissioner Frank Mba paraded 3 suspects in front of the press.
These suspects played very key roles in the recent kidnap of over 100 students.
Through a translator, he questioned each one of them about the abduction of students over the summer.
How many of you kidnapped the students of Bethel Baptist High School?
He said there are 25 in numbers.
How many of the students were kidnapped?
Student they kidnapped 126 students.
The kidnappers said they did it because they needed the money. It's not just the north of the country. Violence and fear across Nigeria are reaching levels not seen since the country's civil war in the late 1960s. According to UNICEF, there have been 20 attacks on schools this year, with around 1,500 children abducted.
So every time one goes into a school or university in Nigeria these days, there's a security check. But on a recent visit to a university in southwest Nigeria, I was surprised to find the boot of my taxi being checked on the way out.
Kaylee Salmon is our Africa correspondent.
And I asked why that was, and I was told that it was in case we had kidnapped students, which really goes to show just how widespread the concern about kidnapping of students in Nigeria is.
And is kidnapping the principal problem that Nigeria has?
Well, it's certainly a very big problem, but unfortunately there is a much broader set of problems. Really much of the country is sliding towards ungovernability. There's an ongoing jihadist insurgency in the northeast. There's rebellion brewing once more in the southeast. And really across much of the country, rich Nigerians and poor alike live in fear of kidnappers.
And what exactly is going on in these places?
Well, in the northeast, there's been this insurgency, mostly associated with Boko Haram since 2009. And for a long time, that was the dominant jihadist force in northeast Nigeria. But today, a splinter group, Islamic State West Africa province, actually outguns it. And then in the northwest of Nigeria, criminal gangs that locals call bandits are sweeping into villages, often on motorbikes. There they threaten to burn down houses or block farmers' access to their fields, demanding payment. And these bandits are responsible for many of the kidnappings of students too. And in fact, they've killed more people in the northwest of Nigeria this year than have died in the northeast at the hands of the jihadists.
So the problems are concentrated mostly in the north of the country then?
Well, unfortunately, there's also trouble in the south. In the southeast, separatists are trying to revive the breakaway state of Biafra. That was the state which was pursued in the civil war in the 1960s. That war killed about 1 million Nigerians. And today, there's a separatist group called the Indigenous Peoples of Biafra. And last December, they launched an armed wing as well. And there've since been attacks on election offices, at police stations, and a prison. And then the government's kind of come back with rather brutal crackdowns. Amnesty International suggests that 115 people were killed by security forces in the southeast in just 4 months of this year. And then even the sea off the coast of Nigeria really offers little respite. The Gulf of Guinea is the world's piracy hotspot as well.
How is it that things have gotten so bad in so many parts of the country?
Nigeria's instability, at roots really comes down to poor governance. Britain, the colonial power, lumped together many groups in one country, Muslims in the north, Christians in the south predominantly, but with numerous and overlapping ethnic groups in different regions. And then politics in Nigeria has for a long time been a tussle to grab petrodollars, which is a source of much of the government's revenues. All that has left many Nigerians feeling perhaps at best marginalized by the government, but at worst sort of brutalized by security forces. And that's fueled anger and insecurity. And then in recent years in particular, the dire state of the economy has made taking up arms and kidnapping for ransom, for example, much more tempting. And then we also see clashes between herders and farmers across much of the center of the country. They're both competing to use the same land. And that itself has killed thousands of people, but it's also fueled other crises. Some herders have turned to kidnapping, and then separatists in the southeast, for example, talk up the dangers from these herdsmen to justify them taking up arms. And so the sort of vicious circle continues.
And how has the government responded to that vicious circle?
Well, it varies a little by part of the country. In the northeast, where the main threat is from these jihadist groups, the unofficial strategy is to try to contain the jihadists, but they're not, it seems, really trying to defeat them completely. Elsewhere, such as in the northwest, where there's this big problem of bandits, the army does try to fight back, but often that fight is very indiscriminate, for example, by calling in airstrikes. But it's also the way the army goes about it. The army is, in fact, deployed now in all 36 states of the country, analysts reckon. But the trouble is that they and the police are often so brutal and heavy-handed in their methods that they end up pushing more people towards violence in anger at what is being meted out to them.
And the net result is that people in Nigeria, in a general sense, feel that insecurity, fear getting kidnapped, you said.
Absolutely. I think there's a very widespread feeling among Nigerians that the country's growing harder and harder to live in and work in. And that has a knock-on effect onto the economy, of course. In the last 5 years or so, population growth has outstripped economic growth, leaving people on average at least getting poorer. Opinion polls show that nearly half of adults want to leave Nigeria, and among the young, a clear majority wish to live somewhere else. And all this is in a way particularly sad because there are parts of Nigeria that are still thriving. Lagos, the commercial capital, has plenty of troubles, but is so dynamic that it boasts a large tech scene, and also in Nigeria's answer to Hollywood, what they term Nollywood, a bustling film industry.
And so in that sense, is all of this insecurity in Nigeria having effects outside in the region?
It certainly is, and partly just because of Nigeria's size. It's the most populous country in sub-Saharan Africa and its largest economy. And so when it struggles so badly, the economy holds back other parts of the continent, particularly in the region, and its conflicts are spilling across borders too. And that's already destabilizing fragile neighbors such as Niger and Chad. And then there's also growing fears of the jihadist threat in the northeast and north of Nigeria beginning to link up with some of the other jihadist groups that operate elsewhere in the Sahel and sort of amplifying the threat of all of them. So there's no doubt the region isn't able to escape the consequences of what's happening in Nigeria.
And each of these things sounds like a kind of feedback loop that it's getting worse and worse. And where do you see all this heading?
I think it's important to say there are also reasons for optimism. A number of Nigerian elites and politicians do have a stake in preserving the system. There's also, as mentioned, a very strong startup culture in Lagos. There are 3 fintech companies worth over $1 billion in Lagos. And there's also still a sense of nationalism in Nigeria, pride in the country. So it shouldn't be written off entirely. But I think what's become clear is that countries that may seem permanent and solid really can fall apart, particularly if the bonds between citizen and state disintegrate. And those bonds in Nigeria look shakier than at any time since the Civil War.
Kenley, thanks very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
For more analysis like this from our international network of correspondents, take out a subscription to The Economist. Get a great introductory deal at economist.com/.
So when you listen to this, at least many of you may agree with me. There are some points where I disagreed with what they were saying. Like when they talked about farmer-herder clash. I think that is smacks of ignorance or smacks of someone who does not want to be, truthful. There is, in my worldview, there is nothing like farmer-herder clash. It is a fallacy, total fallacy. It is herders' invasion of farmland. That is what it is. Farmers do not take their farm and go to ranches and invade herders. No. Herders take their cows, their malus, and head into people's farmland. And it's not that they head into people's farmland after harvesting that they can eat the remnants. No, they head into people's farmland when there are still crops, virgin crops, when things are still sprouting, when things are still coming up fresh, and they will go bamboozle everything. Then you say anything, it becomes a crisis. It becomes a crisis. However, while this is happening, in one of the protests that happened in the UK, you know, I think within the week, I think it was on the same day that Nnamdi Kanu was taken to court. Something caught my attention, and that's this.
It would be all over the news. We see nothing on our news at all. You've got a British citizen in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu who's in court today. He was kidnapped.
So for those of you requesting for me to post the link for the podcast, the link has been posted in the comment section. So you can go to The Economist, just click on that link or copy that link.
In another Commonwealth country, Kenya, he was tortured for 8 days and then extraordinary rendition back to Nigeria. He's a British citizen. He travelled on a British passport. And yet to this day, nobody from the High Commission in Abuja has visited him. Why? Why has nobody from the High Commission in Nigeria, in Abuja, visited the British citizen called Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Why? We talk about Britain being a country of justice and a free spirit. It's totally corrupt. Totally corrupt. And I'll tell you something now, if Nigeria had no resources, you would let Biafra go. You would let Biafra go because you're still getting 30% of all revenue generated in Nigeria comes to the taxman here. What do you think built all these buildings? What have we got in this country? We've got nothing. We've got absolutely nothing. We've got oil that we're robbing off the Scottish. That's why you don't want Scotland to go free. Because of the oil revenue that you're getting. If Biafra is free, it will bankrupt this country, I'm telling you now. And that's why you don't want to know. In May of this year, there were 679 male youths murdered by the military in Biafra land. In a Commonwealth country, you tell me any other Commonwealth country where nearly 700 people are murdered in 40 days and you don't broadcast it. Why? Why can you keep quiet? The atrocities that are happening there would not be allowed in any other country in the world. And yet you accept it because you're corrupt. You are corrupt to the core. And eventually when Biafra gets its freedom, which he will do, whether you people want it or not, then the truth will come out and it will not look favourable on the UK. Because when the UK loses all its interests in Africa, which again, it will do because the African countries are sick of...
The African countries are sick and tired of such. Now, you know, it is good to see sometimes that we walk away from demonization of collective. Especially you say, oh, white men are evil. Just listen, people, when someone, you know, I think that's where I have challenges here. When you're fighting a cause, someone speaks your language, accept it. Someone offers you something, accept it. That's why I don't subscribe to many of you who criticize Sowore. Sowore must not agree to be a Biafran agitator or a Odua nation agitator for him to become an agitator. It's the same thing. If somebody is saying, say no to bad governance, it's the same thing. The reason why you're agitating for Biafra or Dudua or anything is because of bad governance. So, and here I have Oji Ifunanya says, Mazi, these white people or colonial masters are our problem. They don't want us to shine and be greater than them. And I'm like, reading this, you know, just opposing it to what this man has said now, I struggle to find a baseline of criticism. I put it that way. I struggle to find. Because at the end of the day, people, if somebody says is going for Biafra, go for your own. If somebody says he's going for Yoruba nation or anything, let him. If somebody says he's going for revolution now, let him be. If somebody says he's going for answers, please let him be. Everybody must not be in the same boat, for Christ's sake. Everybody must not be in your group. There are various levels of agitation. But it comes down to what I keep saying on this platform. In the heart of every agitation lies injustice. However you dice it, however you cut it, however you look at it, pick it up, turn it, look beyond, it's injustice. When people talk about a country, quote unquote, or they say, oh, we want Udua nation, everything is going to work out, it's going to be an El Dorado. The same applies to Biafra. The same applies to Midwest region. You know, people tell you how it will be an El Dorado. Reason why they are beginning to think in their mind and creating a new place is because the one that we have is not working. It's not working for them. And rather than when someone says, I am getting fed up with this marriage, and rather than say, okay, honey, how can we make amends? You all reach for your guns and do whatever and just want to shoot people. That is that injustice that we talk about. That is that, you know, and they must yoke in every one of us. Tell me, for instance, this is the city of Aba. Tell me how people who live here will be comfortable. Tell me how people who live here, look, these are human beings. These are not animals. This is Aba. This is Aba in the southeast. And human beings, human, not Atoro, not to Nama. Human beings, I look at them, you know, geez. And these are women. And then look at the color of that water. Sewage, gutter, jumped, you know, sewage, gutter, whatever, everything just mixed, kobo, everything jammed together. And this is human beings are working on this. And you tell me that people will be happy. I look at people, but what I see here is people collecting infections all over the world.
Mami, ama handbag yeri lami. Oni tu handbag yeri. Bole lo na ho. O sa ma ka di toro mo ga me ga fe fe gi.
And the worst part is the people still find time to laugh about it. And I keep asking myself, is it that the people do not know that they are suffering, or that this thing ought not to, that these things are not normal? Who commingled the money meant for the water channel to collect water in this place? Is there any reason why this house, why this upstairs one-story building you're looking at may not collapse the next day if this water continue to be in this particular place for a long time? And I look at these things and the people are laughing. I'm like, why?
And me de Burgundy about 28 August. Me de Burgundy about.
Look at this one. Look at this one. And people are still laughing. That is, it just to show you that everywhere. So this is not a southeast, this is not a northeast, a not whatever. This is today, I mean yesterday. No, which kind hoodlums? Bandit. Nigeria, sometimes you get confused. We actually have uniforms now. We have bandit, we have Boko Haram, we have hoodlums, we have on gun man gun. We have everything now is we have militant. Everything. Each region has their own. Yesterday, no, early last night, I'll be whatever. Prison break in Oyo. Over 827 prisoners let loose. So criminality for this Christmas is going to be they will be celebrating. What do they call him? Wakali, the former headsman that was the Amotekun captured the other time. Is it Wakali or whatever it's called? They say he escaped. He escaped from prison. Some people are arguing that he is the reason why actually that prison was invaded. So the same thing that you saw happened in Imo State and up to today, not a single person has been held responsible. It just makes you sick. It makes you sick because if you look at it now, people, look at this. Railway is being blown up. Look at this. This is the Nigerian railway, right? Railway is blown up. Look at this. Look at it. Look. You can see the concrete base that has the thing just blew the nonsense up, and you can see all the iron now. Look. And look, and all in all this thing.
Look at in the complete cut off. I'll send it to AKTS flash.
Okay, look at how they blew this. Now this is just gone into two. Let me make it full screen. You see. Look at this. This has just gone. The rail itself is gone. It's just kaput. It's just broken. Just gone. Just like that. And no one, and they had intel. And they had intel that something like this was going to happen. Then you ask yourself, who was in charge? Why is nobody being punished? Because when these things keep happening and there is, and no one is being punished, and that's why it will keep repeating itself. No one was punished. However you look at it. Now, you see, the thing is, anywhere you go, these corrupt, you want to go to play football, it's the same thing. You want to play common basketball in Nigeria. It's the same thing. Everybody is becoming an agitator. Even those that will come, those children you are born, you in America, in London, in Germany, anywhere you are now, these children you give birth outside Nigeria. All of them are also becoming agitators. Listen to this. You understand what I mean? These are many of these children. Sorry. Okay.
First, we want to say thank you to.
Sorry. Many of these girls you will see here, we are not born in Nigeria. But because their parents, we are Nigerians, because their parents believed in Nigeria, because their parents encouraged them to go play for Nigeria. But again, even in coming to play for Nigeria, Nigeria also, Nigeria happened to them. Nigeria keeps happening to all of us every day. Watch this and see and feel sad. People that came to play for Nigeria are now, when we went to Olympic was it in Japan or whatever, people became protesters. Nike brought jerseys, brought whatever costumes and all the rest. Those that ought to share them, everybody. They gave them Samsung phone, each one of them. They collected it. Everybody is becoming a
The
protector.
Nigerian
Watch and
embassy in
enjoy
Cameroon
yourself.
for celebrating us. We appreciate you more than you know. Other than that, we do not feel appreciated or celebrated after achieving this historical feat. In 2017, we won the AfroBasket Championship, and 3 days later, we were presented to the Father of Nations, Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari, and his entire cabinet by the former ministry, Honorable Solomon Dailon, as customary with handshake. We have defended our championship and brought back the cup in 2019 and 2021, which is historical, but still no invitation has been extended to the team to visit Aso Rock or a presidential handshake. Why?
President of MBBF, Musa Kita, said that the Federation isn't owing any players, officials, or vendors. This is far from the truth. The last time we checked, our allowances, stipends, bonuses, training grants, and donations made by banks for players, officials, and volunteers still have not been paid.
We are owed $73,118 from the NBBF, $24,000 from the Ministry for the Tokyo Grant, and $100,000 from donations from 3 banks in Nigeria.
Ever since our general manager and team manager resigned, we feel like we're being marginalized. Our senior leadership, like the former president, never really shows up for camps or competitions to boost our morale. And when we have significant concerns and issues that needs to be addressed, when he does show up, we get vague answers, as if our concerns aren't important to him. But when we win, they magically show up for photo ops and celebrations to use for political gain. Musa Kita was not in Cameroon, but somehow he showed up to Abuja to take pictures and to hoist a trophy, again, for political gain.
The Tokyo 2020 Olympics was full of a bunch of distractions for all of us. We didn't know the final roster until the day before the flight. So our first team practice was in Tokyo days before the first game.
There's a lot of things that could have been handled differently to increase our chances of success. Starting with our travel, there was a 36-hour flight, our team gear and uniforms, making sure they're up standard, 2 practices a day, not being able to access medical staff at certain points during the Olympics, as well as gift exchange between teams.
Why hasn't the team been to Nigeria since 2019? We're wondering the same thing. As the Tigers players, we want to go back to Nigeria. We don't understand why we have not been to the country for the last 2 years for camp or for any celebration. It's customary that the team is to go home for major competitions so that we can have morale. It's also important that we inspire the next generation to follow their dreams. Every player that has been a D-Tigress since 2017 has their own thoughts and feelings about the dissolved MBBF board and coaching staff over the course of the time. It is evident that our voices have not been heard, our requests for little things have been ignored, on nothing celebrated, recognized as much as a 3 times back-to-back African Cup of Nations champion deserves.
Our demands: all money owed to players, officials, and vendors, adequate travel to competitions, and a team manager for all team functions. If these demands are not met, with all due respect to the presidency, the NBBF, and the ministry, all D-Tigers players will not be reporting to the FIBA World Cup tournament in 2022 in February. We are one united voice.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
I stand.
So you can see that now that these young children or rather these young adults that came to play for Nigeria have suddenly all became activists. Why? Because finally Nigeria has happened to them. Many of you watching now, you've studied abroad, and with the hope of coming back to Nigeria. But suddenly, your people will call you, boy, no come home, because we no one lose you. Why? Because Nigeria has happened to you. It beats me silly to think when politicians ask, why are people angry? I'm like, are you for real? You don't understand why the people are angry. It's just like looking at a police officer when you do NSAS, those that were protesting for you, for your welfare, are still the same people you would abuse. Even in Nigerian law court, lawyers whom when the police officers have cases will run to are still abusing them, as the case here.
Kill me. See this one. See I'm here. He's threatening to beat me in court of law. One day you will need justice and you will approach the court. Look at them, all of them, with gun inside the courtroom. Look at all of them here.
Even when you are giving this kind of injustice, they will sack them without any firing.
As if that is enough. If these people can they stand the Sultan of Sokoto, can Sultan of Sokoto be seated outside? Look at Okwadike.
Now, and this is the one that really got me. We have the Ezibo there. We have Okwadike. Okwadike is 83 years old. 83. Many of us might not even be able to find our walking stick by the time we get to 80, talk less of 83. For this man to still fly from Asaba to Abuja to make court appearance in order to just give moral booster to the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And in getting there with Chief Godi Wazirike, who is also a legal practitioner representing the Ohanese and Igbo. And they were all told that they cannot come into the arena. And you think this is normal. This is a freaking... calm down. I don't want to swear. I don't want to use French. But this is an open court. This is an open court. Yes, you search people, you ask them. But again, these men, if you cannot accord these men and respect them on self-recognition and all the rest, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I do not know. It's just madness. Madness.
This is His Excellency, a former governor in this country.
He's not even a former governor by his age. He's just, listen, that age alone. Oh, geez.
Outside the courtroom because the unwielding DSS refused lawyers and the elder statesman like him not to have access to the courtroom. Make una tell us, is this a democracy?
You see, the good thing is we are all getting there. We are all becoming agitators, agitating in our own various way. Some of us that have platform, we keep talking like this. This one follow now agitation. We are not talking eburkata shake uku, shake ma, shake. No, we are agitating in our own way. Now lawyer, suddenly, lawyer carry camera. Lawyer begins speak pidgin. Listen to him again, you understand what I mean? Lawyer begins speak pidgin because he knows the thing don't come out level now. He wants to communicate properly to the people. And he spoke
not to have access to the courtroom. Make una tell us, is this a democracy?
He said, make una tell us. I said, he blow grammar. DSS tell him, say, okay, pack where. He said, okay, make I talk to the people. If you say, okay, make I tell una, make I ask una. You see, this thing, he go, don't worry. Now, he go like this. He go reach everybody. This is past patetico. When Wike they talk, it is a joke. Wike, talk.
If you don't know what to do with your head, you don't know what to do with your head. If he didn't dare, he didn't dare.
So he didn't dare. He didn't dare. They tell you, if I run now from this place, I'm seated and run fast. That as fast as my leg can carry me, and I get into on it and I ask. Oduheje, waiting you talk. Come, lawyer, don't begin the talk pigeon. Odumeje go say this is past pathetical. Odumeje cannot believe this.
I thought judiciary is independent.
Oh, a lawyer, you're asking he thought the judiciary is independent. Odumeje must teach you lawyer 101.
Let the world hear this.
Of course, the world is hearing. That's why we are here. See, you're an agitator. I'm an agitator. We're all agitating. Farmer that plants his own crop and cow will come and chop it. He's joining. Even as the way it is now, I hear Zaza people for Zaza room. They are also happiness more in Zaza room. So everybody's joining. Don't worry. It's going. If he didn't dare, it will reach all of us. It will get to a point. You break anything, you pay. You go be break and pay. Don't worry. Everybody will soon become, when we have something like this, when we have people being in the customs that cannot even do like this. People in the customs that can't even do common salute. They can't. No. This one, they turn like. Oh dear. You don't see trailer with a break. He they turn like trailer with. Bye, Nigeria. Don't worry, everybody. I saw you be here. You know what's now? They laugh. Buhari, because now me they protect them now. By the time Buhari retires in 2 years, by this time in 2 years' time, Buhari go join protest. Buhari, he go collect him own because what did happen now? Oh, everybody, don't worry. Odumeje is indeed a prophet. He said it. What is happening now is nothing but past participle.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go me. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. Say tickle. One nana so
you see? Yesterday you are not informed. They didn't tell you. Yesterday you are not a protester. Today you are not a protester. You are not an agitator. That is still past. But tomorrow, when you wake up tomorrow, you become a protester. That means you become a tickle. I'm telling you, you become a tickle. You go reach everybody doorstep. No kidding. Go reach every one of us. Don't worry, he's coming. Today, na DSS, the flex, even lawyers. They go beat up Sowore inside in front of DSS. Everybody go talk. Don't worry. One day you go see DSS. Go they beg Okada man, please help me. Now Okada man go say, no be you that arrest us. He go reach everybody go collect. Last. Go see where that sense go come. Whether we go get sense. Even for church don't they collect sense small. Because before church go come, they go do like this. Receive, everybody go do be like saying they call that one Chris waiting Oya waiting Janglova. You go there, take it. Wow, everybody go there for now. Cameraman no they fall, but small of them don't they receive. So even so, pastor they say if these are anointing they carry you. Make you know they carry you, they come media center because if you break anything, you go.
And I've warned in the first service for those of you that like to fall under anointing and break things. If you fall under anointing again in this church and break anything, you pay. From today is break and pay. Any spirit that breaks anything in this church again will pay. That mad demon.
Oga, na spirit of agitation. So The spirit of agitation. The spirit of agitation, what they tell you now. So he enter Muslim. As I tell you now, you see Muslim, they do what do you call them? Binding and casting, big casting and binding. Casting and binding. Look, everybody, last, I'll give you an example. This guy here came back from Canada. Now, this guy here came back from Canada. You see as he dressed. You see as he dressed. Don't worry. All of us go receive him. See as he dressed, ba. He they do yup. For Canada, for this, Nigerian police. Yeah. They say Nigerian police where the guy they defend. They from back slap him. What?
The Nigerian government that they are underpaid. The police are underpaid.
You know, he's saying that the Nigerian government are underpaying the police. The police are underpaid. Woo. He they talk. The same police is granting interviews saying they are being underpaid. Slapped him.
And that a time will come, we're going to overwhelm the police. And we certainly overwhelm the police. And we have shown that the police have not learned their lesson. Because we see that there's so much injustice in Nigeria. They have not been justice in Nigeria. Look at them ranting again. This is a people protest.
See, police is coming. The funny part here for me is when Nigeria happened to this guy who flew in from Canada, Nigeria happened to him. The moment he removed his cap, I said, this guy no be young man.
Okay, don't touch me now. Okay, no, why touching me? Arrest this man.
You see, Nigeria happened to him. Nigeria has already happened to him. If I had a sorry Doko boy here, waiting for here, 70-year-old man. Now they never leave you. They have left you. They have sorry today. But listen, I no go cry for Nigerian matter. I no go cry. Because the thing as he tire me. So now just what else can you do? You go kill Nigeria you go kill yourself for Nigeria. Like I was telling us before. Quickly, let's have a look at this. We might have a better understanding of what I am talking about here. And the case is very simple. Very, very simple. Let me quickly find see. No, okay. Before we even get to that, everyone may be confused. If we ask President Buhari now, Oga, where are you actually taking us? Because, we all just got into this car. Everyone is saying, okay, get your change. You say, Akoi Shanji. People entered this vehicle thinking there will be change. But if we ask him now, okay, where are you taking us? Let's see what he's going to tell us.
APC from top to bottom.
Oga, did you say you're going to take us from where again, please? Oh, you say you're going to take us from where?
Bottom.
Baba, you're going to take us from where?
To bottom.
Did I hear you right? You say from tough to bottom. Abba, Megida. What did they happen? They take me from tough to bottom. Is this a big question Nigeria
Our economic is doing like this. It's doing like this. It's blinking.
It's doing like this. It's doing like this. Checking. You want to go from top to bottom.
APC from top to bottom. Top to bottom. Top to bottom.
So, Sowore, it don't do. It's taking me from top to bottom. Make a fly break. Stuff. I won't come out. Go again. Go. You never go anywhere. I don't finish. Waiting, top to bottom. You call me that. I say Kagoni, I be any that. Because if they go Amaya, if they go Akigwe, if they go Anugu, if they go Anabara, if they go Kitisket, if they go Lagos, if they go Kwarani, if they go Sakoto, if they go for everywhere, if they go everywhere, if they go. But This time, they're telling me, say, they're taking me from top to bottom. Kai, Oga, it's not good. What he go telling me, they're taking me from top to bottom. But like I was saying before, it's not only a Christian thing. Even the Muslims. last, eh? Yeah. We go receive sense. Even Muslims now, they don't they cast out demon. No? Muslims now, they go cast. You see, the other pastor was talking about break and pay. Now, Muslims now demon must come out. They don't they do the same thing where Christians do.
I tell you, no one should laugh, and you people are here laughing. Continue your laughing.
Okay, sorry, man. I no go laugh.
Baba, come. Hold on. Come on. Come. Pull it up. Someone should hold him for me. If you want to fall, you hold him. Let him come. To like talk.
What did you look for under?
One person should come and do what I do. Give me one water.
They go give you water because because everybody see how this is not only about Odumeje. Odumeje they cast out demons self if you don't know. So because if past no work, if present to no work, if party no work, there is no way Tico will not work.
You will be a past participant. Yeah. Hey! Ebu agomia. One day we go here. Say yesterday you are a past. So very soon you shall be past. Party. One day, say tickle. Say tickle.
So you are going to be it. People, please like this video. I'm not going to kill Nigeria for myself. Now, in a National Assembly, like this video, share with others. Let's get serious here. In a National Assembly, where serious issues ought to be discussed in a nation called Nigeria. But this is what we discuss. We discuss about how many wives we've married, our abilities to produce 27 children. You know, you watch some of these things, you think, who do us serve? In the language of my good brother.
So that with me today here are my 4 respected wives. Halim, stand up, please. 1. Uma, stand up. Binta, stand up. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I've asked them to rise here to respect the House on behalf of my family. And one other reason, to let you know that when members call me a powerful man, I'm not only powerful on the floor of the House, I am also powerful at home.
Right. Let's assume Chiwetalago is here watching with us, and he looked at this man. I don't know what, just react like Chiwetalago. He says this man says he's not only powerful in the National Assembly, he's also powerful in the Azar room. He's also powerful in the Azar room. Chiwetalago will say, Ekwensu romance ama mewata. Ike nwanyi ajadu, ada potom. That's what the kind of thing he would say. Just have a go at what Chiwetalago will say. What would Chiwetalago say if he had listened to this? Let me play this again for us. If you didn't catch what he said, I'll play this again for us. If you didn't catch what he said, that the reason why he brought his wives, four, to the National Assembly is to prove to his colleagues that he's not only powerful in the National Assembly, but he's also very powerful. Not like Autumn, that when you remember some things, you go flat. But no. Whether 200 people die, he must be powerful in Zaza room. Listen to him. These are his words, not mine.
To respect the house on behalf of my family. And one other reason, to let you know that when members call me a powerful man, I'm not only powerful on the floor of the house, I am also powerful at home. These four wives, Mr. Speaker, what I meant by asking them to rise up is to demonstrate to the members of the House that when you call me a powerful parliamentarian, I am not only powerful on the floor, I am also powerful at home. Because I deal with four wives. These four wives you are seeing, Mr. Speaker, have produced 27 children for me. These four wives you have seen have produced 27 kids for me, and I'm still counting.
See, 27 children, and he's still counting. Therefore, he's powerful. What a tragedy. What we have reduced serious conversations of national discourse to how a man and his ability to marry four wives and keep them all satisfied in the Azar room. You know, honestly, sometimes words fail me. I don't know what to say. Should I cry? What should I do? Because this is just absolutely insane. In the words of Chiwatalago, some people had already said, Ekwese romance amame wata. That will be what Chiwatalago will say. And Christian John says, Orimeputo. 27 counting, man. Papa Obinonye Dots, thank you very much. Mazi, are you on dry fasting? It's Saturday night. Yes, it's Saturday night. I've been waiting for people, I've been waiting for us now to declare the drink open. But nobody wants to declare the drink open. Thank you, Papa Obinonye Dots. You have now declared the drink open. So we are happiness more. It's a happy hour. We are happiness more. Let the party start. Where is the party? Let's the party start.
All right. Have you voted?
I'm voted, yeah.
Okay,
I'm happiness, I'm voted, yeah.
Tell me your feeling after voting today.
Yeah, after voting, I'm feeling okay. What I want, I get it on the result. I'm getting the party I want is the one going on. Thank you for that.
What are you expecting from these people you voted?
I'm voted, they can do what you want, and then when they want, what they want, inshallah, we're happiness more, isn't it? So then please, I want to beg them, we suffer almost 10 hours we are standing because of what we want. We need change. And then the person we need, he's the one on the party we want, isn't it? So please, we want change.
Change. What?
See, if the party we have this evening is not the party we want, this is the party we want. The party, what do you call her? Fafa Obina, and that. If he don't give you that t-shirt, make it a snap picture, make it a send, make it a show, because you not that man. Say the party. Hey, Nigeria. In the words of Chiwetalago, you will say, "Otu ahụ nọgoro eke nse." 27 children and still counting. 27 children, 27, like in the number 27, and he's still counting. He comes to the National Assembly to tell us, yes, it is the one that we are going to do this, do the other one. Come on, Abba. In the words of my friend Onyoma Jubi Aka Chukwudea, yeah, he says, Inokwa. In fact, I'm happiness more. Because I'm happiness more, every one of you must share this video now. Oh, yeah, share, and use the super chat. Because I am happiness more. You want to happiness more? Huh? Again, many of you also probably haven't seen this. Someone is asking, where do I get these videos? Of course, if you are in this business, you get every gettable. I don't, you don't corrupt me. Oh. Mazi, you're going to get every gettable. Eh? You're going to get every gettable. To a point, there is this fantastic video that I want to show us. You know, in some states in Nigeria, they destroy alcohol. They burn, I wouldn't say burn, they destroy you know, they ban alcohol intake. They do all these things. But the same people that ban the consumption of alcohol are actually consuming alcohol. Not only that they are now consume alcohol, they actually show it now public. But there is something, let me analyze this video. There's something I found so intriguing in the next video I'm going to play for us. And it is very simple. If you watch clearly, one of them pretends to be, or a couple of them pretend to be drinking what's it called? Juice, so to say. They were pretending to be drinking juice. But obviously that wasn't juice they were drinking. They were actually having shire in form of juice. I think let me quickly see if I can play that video from Ginger Media TV because we've uploaded that video before now. If you haven't watched it, you can go to Ginger Media TV and watch the full video. But quickly, let me see if I can. Okay, yeah, let me quickly bring it up here so you guys can see with me what our eyes are seeing. Our eyes are seeing the left corner of our ears. Eh? The left corner. I'm not talking about the part of the some people say medulla oblongata be before I go turn into odumeje. Na medulla oblongata before I will turn into odumeje. Okay. So quickly, let me play that video for us so you guys to understand where I am coming from. And it's indeed, oh, this advert has to finish. Come on. Okay. So this is the video. Quickly, let me bring it in. Oh dear, it's Nigeria people just you can't believe some of these things, man. You see, now so you see, these ones are drinking green bottle. You see red wine there, Heineken there. Okay. Now watch very well the ones drinking those pack like Jews. These things were not; those things weren't Jews. Because if they were Jews, they would pour them on top of the table. But none of them did pour them pour them on the glass. When they want to pour them out, they bring it down. Just watch. Pay attention. Did you catch him there? You saw the guy. He wasn't pouring it on the table. He just was pouring it, and there is a reason why he also wore glasses there, because the guy don't show him.
Yeah. Mimbo handi nangoli zembi fufu. Ili ndio nani gera. Gode yari body walanda za jeji. Baba mama. Baba meno go. Ayo. Yoto nata uda baba meno go to hudi baba mako.
So, people, you see, that's the same country. The same country that people had these drinks stored in warehouses, stored in their shops, and they were taken to the streets and they were destroyed. But here, videos don't lie. You know, sometimes when somebody high, you go use Nokia 3310, begin the record. At least from the quality and everything, you obviously know that, you know, it was after some, you know, consummation of a couple of bottles of fermented brukutu, and you know, spirit. I don't want to say holy. Let me say spirit began to speak, and people began to speak in strange tongues, and the level of whatever highness began to high. And you saw it there. People, like the Economist said, that Nigeria, for the fact that they agree with me, they said that Nigeria is the crime scene at the heart of Africa. Nigeria remains the crime scene as the heart of Africa. And every one of us eventually become an agitator. It depends on level which you know that you are in. Some of us have been here in the trenches for long, but at some point you might eventually, you'll be warming up. You're probably going to the gym until Nigeria happens to you. Until Nigeria happens to you, we may not willy so early, because if like in the creeks of Warri, where the you know the guys will go to creeks and with dangerous weapon, and the security men will do willy
on the hour from Niger Delta Broadcasting Service. My name is Andrew Uweri Okere Ajapasa. Yesterday, some angry Warri Jaguda boys carried dangerous weapons like a cutlass, iron pole. I went down to the Borikoko oil facility. When they reached there, the security people vanished into the bush like willy.
See, everybody will go, they vanish into the bush like a willy. On that note, Mazi, I would also vanish into the other room, but this time not as willy, but as Onyichie. And I will say good night, everyone, for being part of this conversation. Join me 2:00 on Monday afternoon. I will be speaking to Barrister Ifeanyi Ejiofor on the things that has happened in the last couple of days, and as well his engagement so far on the things with the current case in Abuja. Again, once more, I'll say good night. I am willing myself into the other room. Good night, everyone.
I represent and symbolize all the characteristics of a typical Igbo man. Yes, I've learned to be more Igbotic than I ever expected. As an Igbo man, I've perfected the act to be international in any dream that I chase. To be industrious, be consistent, and powerfully focused. All the lessons I learned from the brothers in the tribe have made me dogged, hardworking, and exhibiting the ability and the capacity to survive in any kind of weather. Yes, I am an original wafo because Nzuzumezuole Mamumu don't do.